We are live. We are live. Ladies, gentlemen, non-gender conform individuals, we are here with this special coverage. I'm joined by Marcus Farrell. I'm joined by James Bubba Williams. I'm joined by Mundell Robinson. Rebecca Azor will be joining us later. This is getting pretty wild down at the Capitol. And I felt that this was coming the whole time. But, I kind of just shut my mouth because everybody said we were being alarmist. But here we are with the collision between white supremacy at the Capitol and American imperialism. And the America's going to have to decide, in my best opinion, my best estimation, and I'll pass it to you all to say whatever y'all are feeling. But America's going to have to decide right here, right now, whether or not it is going to do away with white supremacy, because that's what's on the steps of the Capitol right here. What y'all thinking? Let's go with you, Mundell.
This is the problem. This is the problem with the lives of Donald Trump. Chickens coming home to roost is all I can think about right now. This is a sad day for democracy. On the back of the historic night we had in Georgia, we are watching how white people react to the loss of elections. Imagine if Black people behaved this way every time we were sold out by this country.
Come on, man.
And these people weren't even sold out. They just lost an election. But this president refusing to tell the truth and them refusing to accept it has given them the power to walk through the Capitol, bust windows at the Capitol. Bust window, come armed to the Capitol and try to take over a government. Everybody on that ground should be tried for treason. This is not a regular protest. This is not a protest of BLM. You are at the Capitol busting windows, threatening Congress people.
David, do me a favor and drop the screen share so that we can get everybody on the screen at the same time, because we are running into that same problem. Because we really are faced with something, Mundell, like you're saying. I want to get everybody on the screen at the same. There we go. That's what I want right there. You said it, and I don't have to repeat it. I want to let you continue now that we have everybody on the screen, and then I'm gonna pass it to Marcus.
Sad day. I don't wallow in this. When Marcus called me as a person who served in the military, it's a war zone on the Capitol in the United States of America, all because of white man lost an election.
Because they couldn't take the L.
Yet because they couldn't take the L.
no one on TV has said one thing about thugs, traitors, except for the people that are raiding the House are calling news anchors traitors.
Right.
There's so much love from that side, supposedly, for police officers, and yet they're throwing bricks at police officers.
Wow. Marcus, what I'm sorry, Mundell, because I'm trying to get everybody in here. I don't want to move too quickly, man. I want you to make sure you finish your thought before we move on.
Oh yeah, I did.
Marcus, what you got, man?
I expressed my thoughts on Twitter earlier, but I think it's important to say that the GOP has officially lost the argument for law and order forever. They're not allowed to even bring that up anymore. Right. Second, if this was Black people, there would have been dead Black people already.
Period.
Third, if we think about this, Joe Arpaio managed to bring tanks to the city of Guadalupe, Arizona, faster than our government can bring troops to a real government compound, right? Like the head of government. This is an act of terrorism. And I think and as I said before, this is 435 acts of kidnapping. That's the amount of people that are in Congress. At least 3,000 people should be charged with kidnapping, bare minimum. Because listen, if it's simple enough for someone to get into an argument and not let your girlfriend or your boyfriend out the car and get charged with kidnapping, then going up into someone's building and forcing them to lock down, that is a kidnapping charge, and all of them should be charged, if not just with treason, but with kidnapping. This is ridiculous, and these are officially federal crimes. So before we continue to even ever have an argument about what Black people are doing at the CNN building, then we need to start focusing on what's going down in real time. And every Republican that condoned this, every single Republican senator that said they were going to vote against making the presidential race real, they are a part of this. And the last thing is, Trump told y'all this was going to happen.
Yes, he
in
did.
the debate. What did he say? He said, stand back and stand by. Well,
stand back and stand by.
They received their orders today. They received their orders.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I thought maybe I was being dramatic this summer, because I mean, I've told quite a few people, but when I saw Donald Trump clear out St. John's Square or whatever it was, St. John's Church, using the military flashbangs. This is in reaction to white people standing up. Black folks obviously stood up, because we always standing up. This really, George Floyd is really one of the first times I've seen in a long time where white folks stood up too. And Donald Trump had no problem clearing y'all white friends and family out like dogs. And so to me, that signaled game on. Because to me, they abdicated their responsibility to be the government, and they lost the consent of the governed once 350,000 people died. Now, we stood by while all of us died. I stood by. We couldn't do nothing about it. We protested for George Floyd. They crushed us. Donald Trump came out waving his flag, his Bible in front of that church. And you know what dawned on me, man? The right to revolution. These white folks think they're the only ones with it. They think that they are the only people with the right to revolt against a government that has abdicated its responsibility to the people. Now, I'm going to be quiet, because this one ain't my fight. This is the white folks' fight. Y'all out there about to kill each other. It's American imperialism versus white supremacy. Because America's going to have to answer this question right now, right here today. What you like more? You like your imperialism more, or you like your white supremacy more? Because these white racists that are in Washington, D.C. will absolutely destroy this country, because they can't take the L. I'm going to stop there, because like I said, this ain't my fight. I'm going to sit back and watch y'all see who wins, white supremacy or imperialism. If
you watch the beginning, Ben, what you'll see is when they first stormed the Capitol, they were going at the 3 Black officers, right? Like you got to think about that. If you watch the first video, they tried to breach through the first Black officers, and one of them touched the Black officer, and one of those Black officers let off on him, and that's when it started. So I mean, the irony of it is that they saw all their anger and pain with the government through those first Black officers, and that's what set it off, right? I mean, I know they're cops, but and all of a sudden I'm like, defund the police.
Might save some
so maybe I still want to defund them, but on the same token, I mean, it shows the lack of ineptitude that the government has for us right now. Trump should have signed that executive order getting troops over there immediately, because if you think about it, they had troops, they had actual army troops disperse a crowd outside of the White House just so Donald Trump can go stand in front of a church with a Bible. Yet these people are running up into the Capitol as we speak, and there's not one single iota of army.
Guys, if I can jump in real quick, I'm just going to let you guys know I'm going to put some images on the screen.
I was just going to ask you to, David.
From ABC 27 News, there's pictures of, I believe this is Secret Service, that barricaded one of the chambers and had guns pointed at the entry points.
Okay, let me ask you, David, put that up on the screen. Now, I want to make sure anything we put up, we don't want to try to screen it before you put it up. I want to make sure that
this one's not too graphic. There's another. Yeah, this is a different angle. If you look at, if there's another angle of this picture, that one right there, they had already busted the windows of the door. You see this? There were representatives from the House saying that they had to use all of the security that this country has, all the money they spend on security, and they had to use coat racks to barricade the doors.
Hey, bruh, white folks, y'all losing it. Y'all better decide what y'all want, boy.
Here's the irony of it. The president lives at the White House. They're carrying Trump signs. The president of the United States.
Exactly.
These people are wearing his paraphernalia and flying his flag, trying to take over the house, the people's house. This is not a small thing. These people are carrying the irony of that. The president of the United States, paraphernalia, signs, and when he sent out a tweet to these people, he said, "Remain peaceful. We are the party of law and order." He didn't say leave the Capitol.
He said stay peaceful.
He don't want them to leave.
So much going on. David, do me a favor and bring us back to the screen. You guys are all, this is history in the making, and it was going to always lead to this. It was going to always lead to this because Mark Mundell, as you said, this is, and James, I want to get you in there, and Rebecca Azor has joined us via the phone. But what we are seeing is white supremacy fight itself. We are seeing, like you said, Marcus, they are taking the flag of Donald Trump alongside the Confederate flag. There was a Confederate flag there too, alongside the American flag, and they are all fighting themselves. Rebecca, I know you're on the go, so I want to get you in here. First of all, thanks for joining us with this special coverage. I know you had a lot to say and a lot to feel about this, because I know if a Black person showed up like this, we'd be dead.
Yes, and hey everybody, I just want to say hi to everybody on Zoom. There's a lot going on. This is chaos at its best. Here's the problem. You know, I just spoke with a friend of mine, and she was saying something about, and she's a Black woman, and she was saying something about, oh, this could be something that is brought on by Antifa and BLM people who are undercover. I had to check her at the door. I'm like, if you can't look and understand what you're seeing, the proof is right here. Like, I have no time for this conversation. Right. Like, there are so many people out there who are trying to put out that narrative, and it's stupid. So we're just going to shut that down right there. This is very serious to understand and to look at what's going on. All because, and I know that, you know, the presidential election, Congress counted the vote. That is why a lot of people are saying that happened. But this is supposed to be a celebratory day for us. We got a Black man, right, who is now taking seats, and who is going to take seats, who has won. And you're telling me today is the day that these people to go out and choose. That definitely highlighted these people to go out. That definitely pushed and motivated them to go out there, because they know what's about to change. They're afraid of that. If this was a BLM protest that we know, Black Lives Matter protests that have reasoning behind it, people would have been shot down, killed. We wouldn't even have made it that far to the Capitol at all. Period. And this is what we see: white supremacy at its best, white privilege. These people are with guns. Where was the police force earlier yesterday? Where was, we had barricades that were short, weren't even chained together. When Donald Trump said, "Stand by," this is what he meant. He hasn't said much to account for what's going on. He hasn't said much about this. We can't, this is very clear about the state of America and how much they hate Black people and how much they refuse for us to even be anywhere with any position where we can change shit. They're afraid about what's about to go down, because listen, they want to say that this is about Biden, things like that. Any video that we have seen has shown us, and we've heard, they were calling the police niggers. They were calling the police out of their name. They were saying that they support Black Lives Matter. So they were kept saying Black Lives Matter, fuck that, fuck it, Antifa, all kinds of things of that sort. I am so upset right now, because this is what we have. We fight with reason. We've been fighting for God knows how long. These people just woke up. You know who's out there? Lawyers, doctors. They're out there without their hoods today. They're out there without their hoods today.
Dang.
Because they ain't poor. They had enough money to get there. They had enough money to fly there. They got enough money to do everything that they're doing. So they're not poor. We got more footage on your screen now of an actual brawl in the rotunda. Now I'm gonna try to slow down a little bit here, because I just need you to understand. We are having an actual fight in the rotunda with riot police and white supremacy. This is white supremacy fighting itself. James, I want to come to you because we haven't had a chance to hear from you. And then I want to circle back and get everybody a chance to comment more on what we're seeing, man. You got the floor.
Man, I'm really pissed off. Everybody knows I don't deal with politics too much, but this year alone has pulled me in so much that now I have to say something. I mean, here it is. I fell asleep because I'm listening to the committee hearings and I'm listening to them confer everything, the certifications. First thing comes up is Arizona. Okay, let's go discuss. Cool. And I'm watching it, end up falling asleep for a few minutes. Next thing I know, a few minutes later, all hell is broken loose.
Right.
And the first thing I think about is brothers and sisters, like Rebecca said, out here on the streets of Atlanta protesting, all across the country protesting, getting hit with tear gas, shot with pepper spray, rubber bullets, everything. But yet, here it is. We got these people on the Capitol building, walked in willy-nilly. Somebody just sent me a picture that they took one of the metal fences, put it against the wall, and climbed the damn thing like a ladder. I'm like, this makes no sense. And I'm like, just for the simple fact that it's allowed to go on, but I can't walk down the goddamn street without being harassed. It makes me feel some type of way. And, talking to my dad about it is just like, my dad is heavy into politics, heavy into it. So talking to him, it's just like, man, I'm mad as hell driving down this road. I couldn't wait to get in one place to sit still. Because if not, I was going to probably try to wreck this goddamn car driving so fast.
Don't wreck the car.
I'm not.
Don't wreck the car. But let's breathe. Let's breathe for a second, because we actually are all that mad, right? And I know the DJ exclusive, you on the road, so you don't have music to help soothe our soul. I'm gonna be honest with you. Hey, everybody who's mad and your skin and you got any melanin, and I'm even gonna talk to some of our white allies. Don't
Biden
be mad.
is speaking.
What's he say? We got him up. Do we have him on the screen, David? Can we bring him? While David brings him up, we'll take a listen. But I just want to I want to say this. This one ain't our fight. This is a fight that's been in the making since 1776. They didn't resolve the problems when they started 1619. They didn't resolve the problems when they started this country, and now it's finally coming home to roost. So as soon as David gets the screen back up, I want to look at the other thing. In the meantime, Marcus Mundell, y'all got the floor.
I mean, there's a picture I want to show of the summertime protest where
I'm going to interrupt. Sorry, Marcus. We actually have Biden speaking. If you guys want me to tune into that, Biden's talking.
Bring him in, please.
Words of a president matter, no matter how good or bad that president is. At their best, the words of a president can inspire. At their worst, they can incite. And therefore, I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his.
We lost the audio there. Did anybody else lose the audio?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. To storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest, it's insurrection.
That's it.
The world's watching, like so many other Americans. I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation, so long the beacon of light and hope for democracy, has come to such a dark moment. Through war and strife, America's endured much. And we will endure here, and we will prevail again, and will prevail now. The work of the moment and the work of the next 4 years must be the restoration of democracy, of decency, honor, respect, the rule of law, just plain, simple decency. The renewal of the politics. That's about solving problems, looking out for one another, not stoking the flames of hate and chaos. As I said, America's about honor, decency, respect, tolerance. That's who we are. That's who we've always been. The certification of the Electoral College vote is supposed to be a sacred ritual to affirm purpose is to affirm the majesty of American democracy. But today's reminder, a painful one, that democracy is fragile, and to preserve it requires people of goodwill, leaders of the courage to stand up, who are devoted not to the pursuit of power or the personal interest pursuits of their own selfish interest at any cost, but of the common good. Think what our children watching television is thinking. Think what the rest of the world is looking at. For nearly 2.5 centuries, we, the people, in search of a more perfect union, have kept our eyes on that common good. America is so much better than what we've seen today. Watching the scenes from the Capitol, I was reminded as I prepared other speeches in the past, I was reminded of the words of Abraham Lincoln in his annual message to Congress, whose work has today been interrupted by chaos. Here's what Lincoln said. He said, "We shall nobly save or merely lose the last best hope on earth." Went on to say, "The way is plain, peaceful, generous, just. A way which, if followed, the world will forever applaud, and God must forever bless. The way is plain here, too. That's who we are. It's the way of democracy, of respect, of decency, of honor, and commitment as patriots to this nation. Notwithstanding what I saw today, we're seeing today, I remain optimistic about the incredible opportunities. There's never been anything we can't do when we do it together. And this god-awful display today is bringing home to every Republican and Democrat and Independent in the nation that we must step up. This is the United States of America. There's never, ever, 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 ever been a thing we've tried to do that we've done it together, not been able to do it. So President Trump, step up.
Step down.
May God bless America. May God protect our troops and all those folks in the Capitol who are trying to preserve order. Thank you, and I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
Joe Biden talk.
The only thing I'm going to note in regard to him calling on Trump to act is obviously he's not going to, and there's been calls I've seen across platforms for Pence to invoke the
25th Amendment. I think that's time, right? I think we're well past that time. I want to get everybody's reaction to what the president's the president said. I have a reaction, but I don't want to load the conversation, so I really want to hear you all first. Let's start with Marcus.
It's nice to have somebody with decency, no matter how you view Biden and his politics. It's I mean, what has been missing in America is leadership. Even the presumption of leadership, and for somebody to stand there and make comments addressing the nation from a national platform, the incoming president is, he's right to do that. And I'm happy that he addressed it, and I'm happy that he called for it. And I also think that even though he's not as progressive as I want him, Joe Biden's not a soft man, right? Joe Biden is a dude that, he'll fight you. You know what I mean? He will. And the older he get, the less he cares.
Right.
So I don't think he's the same kind of, at least tactics wise, not policy wise, but tactics wise, I don't think he's the same kind of Democrat that we've seen before, where it's not necessarily asking the president. I'm not certain if Clinton or Obama would have asked the president to do something.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have, but it's just different times. So let me not put that on them, but I do like the response.
Let me go to Rebecca. What are your thoughts about the president-elect's response to this?
And so, I mean, seeing it or hearing it, I mean, it gives us some kind of feel good. We haven't seen him really in this position where a lot of this stuff has happened and he's been a voice in that moment. And, you know, we haven't seen what he really can do. So this is just a moment. Okay, we heard him speak and now it's just about what is going to be done. And I love what he said. He called out Donald Trump. Marcus said it. I'm not sure if our past presidents would have actually called Donald Trump by name to step up to the plate. So which that sounded good, but I definitely would love to hold his feet to the fire with that one. Like, what's next? Because this right here, what is it going to look like in the next few days? You know, is there going to be any reprimand for what goes on, or is this going to be a day that passes by and we're going to go back to put on your mask, you know, get the COVID testing, you know, those kind of things, because this is very serious. This is very serious. So just in hearing what he said, it felt good to hear that. But now I just want to know what he's capable of doing or putting together to answer to this.
Yeah, agree.
Can't do anything. He has no power right now. He can't do anything until the 20th at 12 o'clock. He can't address anything. I mean, what he's done is bold as he can be. I mean, like, calling on the sitting president to do something is all the president-elect can do. At this point, he is still an elected official that has not assumed office and has no power until the 20th. Here's what I would say. I think I don't know, Marcus. I think you said, when you said, let me not put that on the past presidents. Excuse me. Let me not put that on the past presidents. I think you were right. I think you were right to put that on them because, I mean, we saw moments where Barack should have said something about Trump when he was out of office or when he was transitioning, that he sat quietly because of traditions. And I think you're absolutely right to say that Joe Biden will challenge those traditions. So what we're seeing right now, this mockery of democracy, at the hands of white people. And we got to be clear, these are white people.
Period.
And what's happening is two folds as white people. There's no way black people will be able to walk through the halls of the Capitol this way, trying to take it over. It wouldn't happen.
Right.
The reaction of this country would be completely different. And by this country, I mean those with guns standing outside would have started shooting when the first door was open. And that's just the fact. And we're obligated to say that. I also think I'm a little perturbed at all of these Republicans right now that are so upset that this is happening. But for 4 years, they allow it to build up.
Right.
They watered the seeds with their silence for 4 years, not thinking this flower was going to pop his head out as soon as the sun that they were looking for isn't the sun that disinfects. The sun they was looking for was them being told that they were no longer in power. And they got it today. So this has very little to do with the election in Georgia, and more so to do with the leader of their white racist movement being unelected. Look at this cop almost crying with his face. I wish we could rewind that scene just to see that cop almost crying with his hand, both of his hands pushing out the protester out of his way so he can run. Neither one of his hands on a gun. Right. Tell me where you've seen that with black people.
I'm sorry, David. Your microphone was on. Finish that thought, Mondale.
We just know that the way that these people are walking freely in and out of the house, and people might say, well, they're not walking freely compared to what happens to us when we're protesting the loss of life, black life. They're walking freely.
Marcus, you about to get in there real quick, and then I want to say something real quick. And then
Marcus, before you do, just a heads up, Trump may be speaking shortly. Just a heads up.
Do me a favor and bring up that picture that I actually bring up again.
Yep, gotcha. Hold on.
Because this is very important. This is very important, and this is why clickbaity political thirst trap, and this is why the Ben Dixon channel. This is why what we do is important, and as as David gets that ready, I just want to superimpose in your minds, the American public, about what criminal justice looks like and what opposition and what fear of blackness looks like. This was this summer. This picture right here was this summer. And it was the reaction of Black Lives Matter. This was how they were prepared. This is how they were prepared for the Black Lives Matter protest, where black and white people were coming together just to basically ask for justice, right?
Yeah.
Like, not so follow what I'm saying, America. Asking for justice, not asking to overturn an election that is almost to the point of being illegal in their actions. These were black and brown folks that were headed to the Capitol to ask for justice, right? And as I look at this, I'm thinking, you know, how much time was taken to logistically to get that group of folks together, right? That is, I mean, it's very easy for the military to just snap a finger and have National Guard standing in front of the Capitol, making sure that everyone is all right. Yet, when it comes down to white men, so here's the thing: there's pictures on the internet of the police actually letting people through. Right? There's pictures on the internet of the police inside the Capitol taking selfies with protesters.
Right.
And these guys are violently sitting in the gavel and have guns, somehow have guns, which, by the way, having guns on you in Washington, D.C. is illegal. Right? They have guns pulled in the floor of the Senate. But when we show up, look at this. You know, this guy's taking selfies. He's making a mockery of our government on behalf of toxic whiteness. Right? He's making a mockery of our government because of that. But when we show up, they are fully prepared. Trump is talking. Can we find him?
Let's get Trump on the screen when you get a chance, David. That's Rebecca. It sounded like you were about to get in there. As we
Trump is talking right now. I was just saying, if we're able to get in there, and while we are trying to get in there, quickly, I wanted to say, to Mondale's point, I understand that Biden won't be in office until like over a week. We'll be waiting for him to do that. But he does have connections to people who do work in the Senate and things like that, he can organize with, mobilize. It's kind of like seeing our people or seeing what they can do or connect with people who can do things right now. It would definitely make a difference and will tell us that this man is really about, you know, what he's been saying or what he's preaching. So that's the way I say when I mean get out there.
But my thing is there's nothing a armed police unit short of locking these people up. There's nothing anybody with the exception of Trump can do to move this mob.
And that's too much power for that megalomaniac to have, y'all. Yeah. That's the thing. American democracy is so dependent on good faith actors that we were never going to make it unless we address what's going on. Like what this was always coming here. This is literally white supremacy versus itself. It's American imperialism versus itself. It's white male toxic masculinity, all the things. It's versus itself. Black folks did what we had to do. We won Georgia for you twice. Now, Rebecca, I can't speak for you, but if I were to add something to what you said, y'all need to call y'all cousins and them. Y'all need to call y'all people. And maybe the problem is y'all can't even talk. Y'all don't see, y'all created a monster so big that you can't control it. White supremacy has created a monster so big in this country that you cannot control it. And Donald Trump is just eating it up. I know we're still waiting to get David. Anytime you're ready, you can cut. So
I don't have the live speech yet. I'm looking for it, but I do have something from about an hour ago that I'm gonna play, and that is Trump speaking to, I think, supporters.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
I mean, all he said, Trump said is something quick, and it was basically, it's time to go home. That's basically an essence of what he said. It's time to go home.
Fight. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun. My fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
He stole that old AME.
So we're going to.
Let's not listen to this. Let's not listen to this chump.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he
I love Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because this
We're
clown,
going to the
this clown, this man. Look, I'll toss it to anybody who want to get in there. But let me say this: that's a man who's no longer in charge of the monster he created. Donald Trump cannot stop this crowd either.
Hey, my thing is very simple. For every action, there should be a reaction. And it's time for Democrats to stop being so soft when it comes down to the actions and the tactics of the Republican Party. What I mean by that is this right here. We've gotten so soft as a country, right? Democrats especially have gotten so soft as a country that we won't react. We're still looking to look across the aisle and work with people who have empowered this kind of attitude, when we shouldn't look. The only reason the Democrats should be looking across the aisle right now is to throw them chumps out of office, right? Is to get rid of each one of them and send some of them to jail, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the unfortunate part about it is that, listen, man.
I know your pain.
Sorry, I do have the, I didn't mean to interrupt, Marcus. If you want to finish, you can. It's a short clip. He uploaded it. He didn't go live or anything.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna finish my point. It's time for us to start disempowering and start reacting the same way keep the same energy that these guys running up in the Capitol have for America. Keep that same energy when throwing the book at them, right?
Yeah.
Like, y'all, it's obvious that they spend so much time policing Black communities when we want them out of there. I got somewhere where we can reallocate resources. I know a great place to reallocate police resources right now.
And I don't mean to finish your thought, because I don't even know if we could joke about this. What if this was Black people?
There'd be dead Black people already.
What if this was brown people?
Dead.
What if this was like even LGBTQ? This could have been a pro-abortion, whatever you want to label it. Anybody except for white men would be dead right now, and America has shown you that. Here you go. Let's look into this clown. You got it, David.
From us. I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
On the other side,
yes, man.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country.
Okay.
This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You see what happens.
Wow.
You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
Let's go quickly.
Wow.
Round robin. Let's round robin this one. Mundell, I want to go to you first. See if you can do it in 30 seconds or 60 seconds. Let's go.
This is dangerous. We have over 90%, like 7% of people in Georgia, white people in Georgia, Republicans in Georgia, believe the election was a real election.
Yeah.
When 40% of the country, that's just Georgia, but when 40% of the country believe that the government is illegitimate, how is it's going to be impossible to govern? This is the first of many of these attempts. This is in the nation capital. What's going to happen when they run into a poorly resourced Mississippi capital or Virginia?
Yeah.
Or anywhere for that matter. This is not okay. This is not a small thing, and people should not be okay with this. This is dangerous.
Absolutely.
This is dangerous.
Absolutely. Rebecca, jump in there, and then Marcus.
So we see that this man who literally told his folks to stand by, and this is what is the result of that, gets on television the first time, to speak on the situation, and does not call out what they're doing as bad, criminal, Nothing has any of that. He literally says, I feel your pain. He empathizes with them. And these are just a whole bunch of white supremacists out there, which lets us know who Donald Trump is. And he's literally he's still pushing them to literally just do this. So it's not surprising, but just to hear it still, he's literally igniting them. He's like, just go home and we'll figure this out. He's still putting out the lie, even though that lie has been shot down so many times that he won this election, that there was voter fraud. And it's like Mondale said, this is very dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Marcus, I'm sorry, Rebecca, I felt that pregnant pause there. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
That was it. Let's go on to Marcus.
I've learned the art of being sure that Black women have finished talking before you move too quickly. Marcus, this is a very serious time, man. This is a very serious time. What did you see the president doing there?
It was a non-apology, but I got something more important to say to people, more important than Donald Trump's foolish behind. 70 million people voted for that guy, over 70 million people. John Ossoff just won the Georgia election, which has officially been called. So therefore that means that now these same white folks who are out here on the Capitol steps have, it's funny because whenever I took pictures on the Capitol steps, it was always peaceful and beautiful, and Black people surrounding me, or a field trip or something like that. Never thought anybody would visit the Capitol like this, but since it's like that, right? Here's what I got to say. If 70 people, if that's the picture of the Capitol right there, people are, on their cell phones, and 70 million people voted for him, then I need everybody in Atlanta to go to Stoddard's gun range. Because, I'm not calling for any violence from our people. What I am going to say is this right here. These white guys haven't lost before. Whiteness doesn't lose. Whiteness just doesn't lose. And to the point where they don't know what to do because Donald Trump spoke to their fears of losing power and being the center of what America is supposed to be. Right. They've been centered so long that when you lose that, you start feeling like you're oppressed. And when you're oppressed, you feel like your back's against the wall. And when you get a wild animal who's back against the wall, what are they going to do? They're going to lash out.
They're going to fight. So
this is what I want everybody to do. I want you to, if you are able to, or you're in a state where you can go and get a registered firearm, go get one and learn how to use it, and don't start anything. Be a very responsible gun owner and practice your Second Amendment rights. Because that's where I'm at with it. Because at this point, I see a couple of years. I see a new problem that we didn't really think about on the Joe Biden administration's horizon, and that is the extreme violence of the far right. That's coming, folks. So protect yourself.
And to be sure, man. Yeah. We'd be foolish not to tell ourselves to protect ourselves, to be prepared, because these clowns been ready for a long time. So I agree with you 100%. Here's the thing that I saw when Joe Biden spoke. I didn't want to sully the conversation. I wanted you guys to speak your truth. But to me, it ain't going to work, Joe. It's not. Unless you confront, see, both Donald Trump and Joe Biden avoided telling the truth to these white folks. They avoided telling the truth to these white folks because they can't bring themselves to hurt their wee little feelings. But I'm sorry, white folks, y'all can't win them all. Y'all been killing people, bombing people. You've been sending your smallpox. You've been dropping bombs. You've been flying helicopters and shooting down folks in Tulsa. You've been innovative with your bigotry for a very long time. And now you don't know what to do when everything that you possibly could do fails because of black folks. I'm sorry, until America addresses very directly the fact that white men do not have the right to control this country, until they address that directly. They don't have the right to control this country without the rest of us together. And they have been in a position of power over all of us for centuries, even before America. If we don't address that, then all of Joe Biden's platitudes, I felt like they were platitudes. It really sounded good. It made me feel good. But then I realized he wasn't addressing the issue no more than Donald Trump didn't address the issue. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, Ben. I really believe that, like, I felt like he came out and did exactly what he was supposed to do, to go on record being against this mockery of democracy that's taking place. I think that there's something definitely American about white supremacy and racism, for sure. But the rebuke of what's happening at the Capitol when you're flying an American flag and trying to overthrow the government, it's about ending this country as they know it, and I think he was speaking to that. Like you are carrying an American flag and saying this is about 1776. This is what they were saying.
Gotcha.
This is about 1776. So this is a revolution from who? You're trying to split from who? Right? So
themselves.
Exactly.
Their own system that they can't win through anymore.
Just want to interrupt real quick. I think this was about 40 minutes ago that I'm seeing this from Jake, our other producer.
Look at this. Put this on the screen, because this is what you're about to put on the screen right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you don't kill a thing when it's a problem the first time.
I don't have the actual link yet, but an explosive device was found at the RNC and the DNC was evacuated. I'll see if I can get something to bring it on screen.
They are wilding. The actual link is in our Slack. I want to take my time and set this up, because if you have not seen this, this is going to be a little jarring, right? Let me know when you pull that up, because what you're seeing is the fact that white supremacy never went anywhere in this country. It never did go anywhere. It's been standing on standby. It's been standing back and standing by. This is what happens when you don't destroy a cancer right away. You get people marching into the Capitol, waving a Confederate flag. And the photo he's getting ready to pull up right now is a man holding the Confederate flag in the Capitol building. And I'm sorry, folks, they've been waiting to get back at us since that war in the first place. Look at this mess.
The South will rise again.
Now tell me this ain't about white supremacy.
That's what I'm saying. I want somebody to say this is not about white supremacy. These are all white supremacists out there, literally just fighting about like nothing for real. They want to make sure that their whiteness is safe. And Donald Trump is their leader, who has been coddling that from, how we saw how he did Charlottesville and all the other things, and how he could not condemn them. And he's a part of them. He's their leader. So running up on the Capitol and not getting any reprimand for it, hardly any police officer shooting bullets or, really getting them together. They made it in there. So I want somebody to tell me this is not about white supremacy.
From according to Politico, Vice President Mike Pence demanded that Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol immediately evacuate the building, taking a harder line against the rioters than the president did in his video.
You know what that is, everybody? That's American imperialism, letting these white boys know y'all not bigger than America's military industrial complex. Let me tell you, if there's anybody in this country, in this world, that's going to get white supremacists together, it is America's empire being threatened by white supremacy. And that's what I believe we see right now. White supremacy is a direct threat to American empire. So this should be interesting to see itself play out. I'm kind of nihilistic in that regard. Anybody else got any other observation? I mean, we can go round and around. This is going to be developing for some time to come. There's no need for us to belabor it, but I don't want to leave anything unturned. So the floor is open.
Yeah. Go, but sorry, go ahead.
No, you get it.
I'm gonna have to go soon, but just to see that all it is that they're forced to evacuate. But what else?
Yeah.
What else? So it's like this is I've never seen anything like this. But then again, it's white supremacists. They will always be protected. You know, like you said, whiteness always wins. Like that literally is what we see here. They get to, after doing all of this destruction, they get to go home and be with their kids. They get to go home and open up their business tomorrow and go be the lawyers, right? And go be the doctors and go be those same people. That's wild to me.
Yeah. First, people should go to jail.
Facts.
I mean, there's no other. If there's nothing that comes out of this, if they can just go home, like Rebecca said, then, you know, not only is it a travesty of American justice system, you can officially say, like, blatantly, and then we can start repeating this to mainstream media who doesn't want to say it, that racism is not only official, but it is ingrained. There shouldn't be any other narrative, right? So folks who are going to make the narrative that, you know, these guys are mad that Joe Biden won. No, it's not about that. It's about whiteness losing. Also, I just need to make sure that I tell my people in DC, black folks in DC, y'all stay home tonight.
Yeah.
Unless you down there in PG now. Now, if you in PG, you know, I ain't gonna tell my boys to do no violence, but y'all know how y'all rock. What Biggie did, PG stand up, right? Y'all know, you know, we ain't asking for no violence, but like,
oh, this ain't our fight either. I don't mean to interrupt you, bro, but hey, black folks, y'all sit this one out. Let these white folks fight themselves, because they'll kill us.
Yeah, but y'all black folks in DC, man, y'all just relax, man. Like, you know, no bus boys and poets tonight.
No. You can't go to bus and boy anyway. DC's on for real lockdown, unlike Atlanta. But black people in the street protesting too. We have a reason to be in the street to protest. They're not going to charge the man who shot the brother in the back 7 times.
Nah.
This is why that white woman got her face bloodied last night for running up on a protester in the Capitol. So here's what I'm saying. DC needs to be DC, and DC will be DC. What we can't do is, I think people really need to understand that this is not, I mean, for me, this is the idea that America's government is white. That's it. That's it. Not like not in general. I'm talking about
pretty simple.
The documents of America is founded on whiteness, is what I'm saying. The government is pillars and layers to support and uphold white supremacy. Unfortunately, a cult of white supremacy, the most extreme amongst them, has turned on them for not upholding the most extreme president, white supremacist president in modern time. So the problem is still the same. The problem is still the same. America has not dealt with slavery. America has left racism unchecked, and it permeates every institution in this country.
Absolutely.
So it is as American as apple pie and baseball.
Yeah. Those are the facts. I wonder, like, because this is really ultimately about the fragile ego of that man in the White House, right? And then the combined fragile egos of all these little white folks who ain't never lost nothing in your life. Kellyanne Conway on the screen now talking about just stop. Peace and order, law, and says safety.
Girl!
Are you serious? As many times as that woman has called black people thugs and looters, right? I mean, they lost that talking point forever. There are people with the chosen Republican candidate from the Republican Party who won and became president, the leader of the Republic. I don't care what nobody says. Right now, the leader of the Republican Party is still Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
And he will be into the next election, and he lose that race.
Is that go ahead. No, on that tweet, underneath that tweet, who underneath that tweet? Could you go back to that tweet?
Kelly. You said who was under that tweet?
There's a couple,
go
but
back
this
to
one.
And it looks like it was Trump's, I think,
yeah,
daughter-in-law or
was that
his
whoever wrote the book, right? Mary L. Trump.
His
Yes.
niece.
His
Trump's niece.
Yes, and she replies to Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah, like, because she's responsible for this. This is what happens, man. I'm telling y'all, it has taken me probably 10 years, 15 years to really be able to say my dad's saying that is so applicable here. You could pacify a monster all you want, but at the end of the day, it's going to eat you last. They honestly thought that they could play with this particular thing that exists in America. I don't know what to call it yet, but it is white supremacy. It is white male fragility. It is the white male ego. It is whiteness in general. It is the black folks who support them, who cover them. It is the brown folks who support and cover them for a check. It's all of this. Y'all created a monster that pays well too. Because I mean, a lot of these folks up here, low key, they're actually YouTubers with YouTube channels. And they going live on their channel doing this, and they getting rewarded for this. Y'all, I'm telling you, our system is going to destroy itself because can't nobody tell white men, hey, grow the hell up and stop being spoiled brats. You win some, you lose some in this greedy ass system that y'all created, but y'all rather destroy it than just accept that. I'm sorry. Who else? Who next?
I wonder what the Libyan brothers and sisters are saying right now.
Good for us. That's what they're saying. Good.
I wonder what folks around the nation around the world are actually saying. We should take a look because, I think this.
I know what they're saying.
Hold on. I think this is more than just a domestic problem. I think this is going to cause us this right here is going to cause us some problems internationally.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Here's the thing. And you know, the imagery of the American flags with by the way, they disrespecting the flag more than anybody else out there. If you look at that picture, bro. Right? But the imagery of the American flags and then American soldiers not clashing with white people, right? That's utter hypocrisy. And, you know, Joe Biden is losing a lot of power going into the White House and negotiating with other countries, right? If you're an African nation and you've seen all summer long that y'all were beating up black, white, and brown protesters, and then you're trying to do business with they're trying to do business with them as a country. And I mean, it's like, what, y'all gonna sick y'all dogs on us, but not sick our dogs on Europe? This is disgusting, man. And it's a travesty, and it's just a travesty that I never thought I would go through and see.
I did. Let's play a game. Man. And let's game this out if y'all up to it, because it could be a little kind of depressing if we actually take all this to its logical conclusion. There's a lot of different ways that this could play itself out. But one of the things I see is that, honestly, I saw this coming, man. That's why I started to kind of like lose it a little bit this summer. That's why I was about to march my ass up some steps with a burning flag, because Donald Trump tried it. He tried it this summer. See, this is what I've been my biggest mistakes in my life, is not to trust my gut instinct. Now, I'm glad my wife told me to sit my ass down and don't go do nothing crazy, right? But my gut instinct told me that we are in a death spiral for American democracy because we have not confronted the fragility of white men in this country. And here we are, literally at the precipice. We're there. Like, I mean, the only difference here is how far can these protesters go? Now, imagine if Joe Biden is in the White House. How far do you think they would go? Don't you think for a second they won't try to go to the White House? They just aren't going to do it now because their comrade is in the White House with them.
Just to jump in, you guys this is 15 seconds, but the audio, listen to this audio. I hate the source. It is from Bloomberg,
but hey, no, yeah. Thank you, Michael Bloomberg. Go ahead, man. I do want to I want to toss it to anybody else, but I do need to juxtapose this to our friends on the left, folks that were fighting for forced to vote. I just want y'all to understand why we've been waving the flag, sounding the alarm. We've been shouting at the top of our lungs that the number one thing that we got to address in this country is white supremacy, and here's why, right here, right now.
Wait, were you waiting for me to play something, man? Did I miss something?
No. We just let the around here we
Oh,
let
okay.
we let the silence sit sometimes. Go ahead.
So the problem though is we run the risk of sounding like mainstream media right now when we act like this is new. I mean, it was under Obama's administration that them white boys took over federal property out in Oregon.
That's right.
And kept it for days, having shootouts with federal agents. This ain't new. This is
but
America.
now they down with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, you saw that clip?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
But I see what you're saying, Mondale. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take the belly for your point.
That's a whole other conversation that I would love to have with that sister who met with the Bundy brothers, because they're definitely not down with Black Lives Matter. They're down with some trickery shit right there, cult shit. So what I'm saying is, there's never been a flag that's important. There's never been an anthem in America that's important other than whiteness, and everything else is just a facade. I said this on a few weeks back on the morning show when I was telling people there used to be a bunch of white people that come to DC every year with the New York Fire Department, New York firefighters, New York Police Department hats and T-shirts on, and the FBI hats and the FBI shirts. When Donald Trump got elected, I didn't see any of those hats. All I saw was Trump and MAGA. That lets me know that it's not about institutions. And to prove it, Donald Trump stayed beefing with the FBI, and they went with Trump, not the FBI.
Yeah.
That means the loyalty was not to this government, this democracy, even the Constitution or the so-called founding fathers, or even the military, because we saw what Trump said about people who got caught. POWs, he called them losers. He preferred people who don't get caught. The people that were murdered, Purple Star folk, or injured, he called them losers. And so I'm just telling you, it's not about any of these institutions. The only fucking institution that these people care about is whiteness.
And
Period.
they will burn this country to the ground.
They will kill other white people for trying to normalize whiteness or acting as if it's not superior to everything. Donald Trump laws eliminate superiority, because you can't be superior and win.
He said that
you
stuff,
can't be
man.
Superior and win. So what these boys are doing, boys acting like schoolyard boys, these white men are doing, these thugs are doing, these goons are doing, is reminding you that you're in the land of whiteness. Period. And anything that's stepping against them, give them the right to tear down any goddamn building, including that one that's sitting at the opposite end of Donald Trump's house.
And they'll do it.
And they're doing it.
I'm going to share something else with you. This was posted on Twitter by a user named @MoonDDNG. It's actually from TikTok. It looks like the cops actually opened the barricades and let the protesters into the Capitol.
Run the footage for us.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, here we go. Just reach the Capitol again.
Mondale, could you repeat your point that you just made about the commitment is not to the government, it's not to the ideals, it's not to those buildings, it's not to the Pledge of Allegiance, it's not to the flag, it's not to the military, it's to what, brother?
Whiteness. That video clip showed you. I mean, no one is surprised. I literally told you in one of the pictures inside of the Capitol, a cop didn't have one of his hands on a gun or anything like he would have if he was in the street in DC a few blocks from where he is now. Right. Instead, he had it on the back of a protester trying to get out the protester's way.
Defund the cops in black neighborhoods and send them to white neighborhoods.
Could that
look at those barricades?
Go ahead,
those
Rebecca.
look
I'm
like
sorry.
Barricades that are. Look at those barricades. Those barricades. It's like they just put them up just for fun. Like there was about to be a concert or something. You know, when we looked at the BLM protest, we saw the police officers take the barricades and use them as weapons to fight off the protesters. Right here, we have these thugs, these rioters, these people, these criminals out there, and they literally opened it up. Like, okay, guys, finally we're able to let you in for more destruction. Just for free, Just on GP, just because, like, you know what, they identify with them.
See, this is what I say. Can we bring it down a little closer to home? Because as you see, as those Capitol police officers let them those white folks in to destroy the Capitol. Quite honestly, I want y'all to pause and reflect on the fact that this is an ideology and a belief system. Whiteness, white supremacy is an ideology and a belief system that permeates every single part of our system. And I mean that to say that when we get pulled over by police officers, that same white supremacy that you're seeing on display at the Capitol is the same thing that gets us killed. That same arrogance that you see marching up those steps, thinking they got the right to challenge America. Y'all haven't even been the victims of America. Y'all are the beneficiaries of America. And you think you got the right to, no, my friends, the right of revolution belongs to those of us who have had to survive America. So we're just going to sit back and watch. We're going to sit back and watch how America deals with you. But my best estimation, Rebecca, is that, like you said a long time ago, they all going to go home real comfortably and sleep with their wives tonight, or whatever they're going to do. They're going to go home and play with themselves or something.
Look at this picture, right? Look at
I just ask, is this like a sporting event to them? Check this out.
Yeah. I really want to just like look at this. Like he's not even, it's funny because when we do direct actions in the movement space, that's not just mobbing up and going and sitting in someone's office or protesting. When we do direct actions and we really about to shut this whole thing down, there's planning behind it, man. Like there's
exactly
there's a bailout fund that's already set up. Right. There's a because we know there's certain people with I'm not gonna give away all our secrets, but so I'm not gonna give away none of them. All I'm gonna say is there's
Marcus,
planning to it.
Hold on a second.
But
I got the clip of the woman that got shot in the Capitol.
Yeah, but I don't want to see her get shot though.
No.
Oh, okay.
What I'm telling you is this. It is everything you think it is. It is hard to watch.
Okay.
It is very hard to watch.
Can you describe it to us?
No, I don't. I mean, it's graphic.
Hey, send it to me. Send it to me.
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
So what I wanted to say though was this is the difference, and this is how we know it's about white supremacy, because the amount of planning that goes into a direct action that Black folks have is one thing in comparison to a dude with a Vikings helmet on his head with fur on it, yelling at a cop. That's not preparation, man. We wear clothes. We wear clothes to prep ourselves for being locked up for days. We eat certain things before we have a direct action. And these guys just say, well, you know what? I'm gonna get my phone and I'm gonna go and and they're not gonna kill us. And they didn't.
Oh, but I'm telling you, if they push one step further, go ahead, Rebecca.
No. I was agreeing with what Marcus said. This literally is a preparation. You look at this man, and it looks like he is getting ready to go to a football game or thing. This man sat up there, got dressed, and came here because this was all like they all literally talked to each other, group chat, Facebook groups, clubhouse chats, planned this whole thing. Like you said, there are secrets that are behind it, but they know that they're going to be protected. You know what I mean? They know that they're going to be protected. They know, so they set this whole thing up. They know that they're going to be protected by who? Our leader. Unfortunately, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They know that they're going to go to sleep. They're not going to worry. They're not going to lose no sleep over what just happened. Nothing. Nothing. And it's sick. It's sick to see that. But to understand that me as a Black person, literally, you guys as Black men can't even walk outside. Can't even walk outside without being harassed or looked at like somebody who's a thug. When we're looking at the real thugs.
Yeah. It's
who
like
shot her anyway. Do we know who shot her?
I'm not sure. Does anybody know who shot the woman? It sounded like it may have been a Capitol Police, but I don't want to. We'll get some confirmation on that before we leave it out there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so many people in that space. It's so crowded. You hear the gun go off. You see people disperse, and you see her body, and it gets real graphic.
Bro, imagine No, I'm gonna do it. And y'all tell me to stop, because that's why I didn't want to go live without y'all, because y'all sometimes I need folks to tell me when to stop. All right, this might be one of them. But imagine being so committed to your bigotry, you get your ass out there and get killed. Y'all literally had no reason to be there. We had to be in Charlottesville because y'all threatened us the night before. Folks had to show up. Heather Heyer died, showing up on behalf of people who were threatened by your racism. See, y'all showed up here just on behalf of your racism, and now one of y'all done died. But then you're going to use that as an excuse to escalate the violence when the stupidity started with you. So I'm sorry. I do grieve. I honestly grieve when just about anybody dies. But when stupidity leads you to this, that's chickens coming home to roost.
I don't think that's anything. I think that's absolute. I don't think you should be, told to stop saying that. But to the point, this is just how brainwashed they are, right? Like they think that they're in their mind, this is not a coup. They're fighting what they have been told to believe is rigged and fraud.
Well, y'all bad because y'all been listening to the wrong people. Bro, this is what happens when you listen to the wrong people. They will get you killed. Marcus, you said something a minute ago. You said y'all don't go out there by yourselves, period. Yo, listen, I don't pretend to be able to lecture the radicals, the revolutionaries. I'm pretty decent at the point that they think I'm a sellout. And I think that's the right relationship that we should have. But let me give y'all one piece of advice. You ain't got to listen to me, but do not go out here and be a revolutionary of one, because these people will kill you and move on, and they will forget about you, your revolution and everything. They can go. I need you to understand something very clearly. If you're thinking about being a revolutionary, let whatever the guy, that's between you and God. But let me tell you something. You can't even get away with asking the cops to not kill you. They can get away with going into the very heart of this empire and sitting in its seats. We are not the same in terms of what we can get away with. And you're going to let people pump you up. Trust me, I know, because I radicalized myself. Listen to my damn podcast. I had to catch myself. I said, I got to stop listening to me because I had myself doing something crazy. Don't go out there and be a revolutionary of one. Black folks, this one ain't our fight.
Man, let me tell you something real quick, man. I was worried about one thing. I was worried about, man, is anybody going to go to jail? And then I just thought about it. Man, a white woman that got shot. Somebody going to jail.
So what I was just showing on screen to that end, according to the Independent, it was not police. It's believed that there was an active shooter.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
The article says that the victim could be seen lying on the floor. Multiple reports emerged of a person being shot. Multiple reports of officers also injured in the chaos. Those nearby rushed to her aid while heavily armed law enforcement personnel moved forward, loudly reporting the news of an active shooter.
So now you got an active shooter out there. So now you got all of it. You got all of your white cancer up there. You got the
bombs.
All in one place.
Hold on, you got bombs. You got American flags that have been disrespected. You have
active shooters.
You have bleached jeans. You have
so Ben.
You have AR-15s and guns.
Marcus,
yeah, go ahead.
Modify what Ben said. Imagine being so dumb you got up there and got yourself killed. Now you got to modify it and say it by one of your own people.
Friendly fire.
It's crazy because you know what's so funny? All of these things that you're naming, we got a bomb, we got an active shooter, all of these things, right? Let it have been bleach jeans. Let it have been a Black Lives Matter protest. I'm talking about the protest that we've already had in this whole 2020, the past year, over George Floyd and things like that. When they put those things on the screen, you would have thought we were in another country, things like that. Well, I'm watching CNN and I'm watching them cover this. And yes, they may have to say, these are rebels and this is embarrassing. But even in the way that they're speaking, there's some kind of protection in their voice. They're showing these clips, but they're not showing like when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on, they were acting like the Black folks was doing something wrong. Like this was so strange. Like it was so much chaos that they made sure that they showed in the media. I'm looking at CNN right now. They're really not showing what we're seeing in Twitter in real time. They're just showing these protected views of them holding the flag, them sitting on statues, them sitting on the steps. No.
Rebecca, I'm sorry to cut you off. This is live. This is DC officials. If you guys want me to go to it, otherwise.
Yeah, go cut to that. Sorry, Rebecca.
States Capitol Police in restoring order to the Capitol, and our Chief of Police will lead the command to clear the Capitol building and establish a perimeter around the Capitol. I have requested both the Virginia State Police and the Maryland State Police to deploy officers, and they have engaged immediately to deploy officers to the Metropolitan Police Department to help regain control of the United States Capitol. I have also invoked several days ago a standing mutual aid agreement with our surrounding jurisdictions, and I want to thank them for deploying. Those jurisdictions include Arlington County, Montgomery County, Prince George's County, as well as Baltimore City. We want to thank them for sending their officers in, assisting us with public safety in the district, as well as the response to United States Capitol building. Additionally, I want to acknowledge and thank the New Jersey State Police, who will also be assisting the Metropolitan Police Department. So with that, I want to turn to Chief Conti for a situational update. Secretary of the Army will make comments, and we will take brief questions.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor Bowser. My name is Robert J. Conti III. I am the Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department here in Washington, D.C. As you are aware, demonstrators came to our city this morning to exercise their First Amendment rights and were largely concentrated in the area of the National Mall. Following the president's remarks, a large crowd began to march eastbound on Madison Avenue Northwest and Constitution Avenue Northwest. As the demonstrators approached the United States Capitol grounds, there was a noticeable change in their demeanor. They breached the fencing along the U.S. Capitol grounds and confronted police lines surrounding the building. MPD was requested by the United States Capitol Police to provide assistance with crowd management, and due to the violent behavior towards the police officers there and their intent on gaining access to the Capitol, a riot was declared. It was clear that the crowd was intent on causing harm to our officers by deploying chemical irritants on police to force entry into the United States Capitol building. As you are aware, they were able to gain access to the Capitol building, and I can confirm that one civilian was reported to have sustained a gunshot wound inside of the Capitol. Details of the shooting are not immediately available, and the situation remains under investigation. The Metropolitan Police Department will be taking the lead on that investigation. MPD continues to provide personnel resources and assistance on the grounds of the U.S. Capitol and has requested the assistance of law enforcement partners through a previously in place mutual aid agreement. As you heard from the mayor, a 6 p.m. curfew has been put in place tonight and will be in effect until 6 a.m. tomorrow, January 7th. We are advising everyone that is not engaged in essential activity to get off the streets and adhere to the curfew. If you are found to be in violation of the curfew, police will be required to take action. Again, I want to reiterate and make it clear, please abide by the curfew that the mayor has set in place, or people will be subject to arrest. Lastly, I know that many of you are familiar with the Metropolitan Police Department. Understand that there is no better agency in the country to handle First Amendment events. They happen on a regular basis here in our city. However, today's events were not representation of peaceful protests. Today, what we witnessed was unlawful, riotous behavior.
Okay,
sir. That come to our city, engaged in unlawful behavior, will.
We lost. No.
Keep playing, David.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser, Chief Conti. At around 3 o'clock this afternoon, we mobilized the DC National Guard to 100% strength. We'll have 1,100 personnel that are convening to the Armory as we speak to support Metro PD and reestablishing the safety and the confines of the U.S. Capitol. We will also be working with other federal law enforcement entities that are coming here to the Metropolitan Police Station to add additional support capability as they continue deliberate planning and looking at how a clearing operation will be conducted. Thank you.
This is what? This Bob? Okay.
Evan from Bob 5. He's very ill to receive the question.
Okay.
Evan, do you want to say your name?
Evan?
Yeah, hi, Mayor and Chief County. Could you please speak to the confusion surrounding the deployment of the National Guard?
I want to cut in there because they're going to do a question and answer session here. So pull the volume down for me. What do y'all, Rebecca?
Yeah.
I thought of you right away because you said they are still using language that covers and protects them. He started off with language that covered and protect them. I think he was trying to delineate between two different groups.
Yeah.
But then at the end, he got in there and say these are rioters.
Yes, he had to say that because it was. I think it got a little personal for him. But he had to be real with it. He had to shake off that whole, I'm on mainstream media whole thing. He started saying, these demonstrators where? Because what we see here are rioters. What we see here are thugs. What we see here are white supremacists. What we see here are KKK members. I can go on and on because that's exactly what we see here. We have to go by what we see. I read an article the other day about the Jacob Blake shooting, and they were saying allegedly. I'm like, hey,
allegedly,
it's a whole video that we just watched. We shouldn't be using those words. We should call it what it is because this stuff is on video. We are watching it in real time. Let's be real about what it is.
Marcus, you were about to get in there.
Man, these black folks, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. When your mayor, and we have questions about how the mayor has handled the protest in DC, but when your mayor and when your chief of police see blatantly, they black, they see that these people are racist. They see these people are running around Washington, D.C., the original chocolate city, and doing these things. The hammer has to come down. I'm just disappointed that America never gets to see the vigor, because it would have been a good moment for America to really hit mainstream white people America, the vigor that authorities can use against human beings on white men, not just black people. Right. I can't front. I don't, I wanted them to suppress it. Where were all the tanks? Where was the sound gun? Where was the laser gun? Where was the sound gun at? Cause to be honest with you, we all know this because I think all of us have been around a sound gun before. It sucks. Yeah. Right. It sucks. Like, where was the sound gun sitting at the top of the Capitol, blaring it to keep these people from going there? Right. They didn't have to. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. That didn't have to happen. Those are we talking about the full force of the American government, imperialism, whiteness, and also we've been giving police departments military grade weaponry for years.
Yeah.
You think pause? You think the Capitol Police don't have some of the best tech
to stop this?
They probably have a box that's the size of a shoebox that they can press a button on, and all of them people would have dispersed immediately.
Man, they have a SWAT team.
But they didn't. But what I'm saying is they didn't do that. That's not the play that they did. The play that they did was, because they cannot stop what they can. Man, cops are on the side. All they had to do was see the Blue Lives Matter flag.
Yeah.
And that would have been like, well, dang, I don't want to punch him in the face. I just push him.
Darren, you were about to get in there, man. Welcome. First of all, welcome to the stream with us, man. Well, obviously, we wanted to always be on better times, but we are in precarious times. A lot happening in Washington, D.C. So thank you for joining us from Kansas City. What are you seeing, man?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Just got through doing my sports show, so I had to switch hats from sports to politics, which is why that sign is turned around once again. I'm so thankful in so many ways that 2020 happened. And I tell people, the correlation that without 2020, we don't have the issue, we don't have the death of Kobe Bryant that kind of brings the sports world and things together. Then, of course, we don't have, without 2020, we don't have COVID that shuts down the NBA, which in turn shuts down the economy, shuts down the country
for a couple of months. Without COVID, we don't have the situation where people are at home able to watch what happened to George Floyd because you're not distracted by sporting events and things of that nature taking place. Because of that, people got a chance to see exactly the difference in how Black people are treated versus how white people and others are treated. And then, of course, I mean, throughout the summer, people upset at the professional athletes standing up, utilizing their voices, supporting Black Lives Matter, wanting to get people to register to vote. I tell people all the time, it's not Democrats that are trying to keep you from voting, at the voting polls. It's always been the Republican Party, in these last 50, 60 years. I'm like, and so how you can continue to try to vote for a party that does that, I'll never understand. Then, of course, we get to where we are today. Obviously, over the last few months, they've been talking about Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and Donald Trump getting his Proud Boys propped up and getting them, having them stand back and stand by and all this stuff. And so we get to this point today where, as someone said, the rabbit isn't fun when the other, it's not. And we're in a situation now that, again, I've been saying it for the longest. Republicans are so hypocritical that they, when they open up their mouths, they're lying. And the fact that you had Ted Cruz on that on that Senate floor talking, the way he was going, I'm like, I wanted somebody to jump up and shout out, "You lie," like they, when they disrespected Obama. I wanted somebody to do that to him, because everything that they're doing, that they're saying, they're lying. They know that they can't overturn the election. They know that there's nothing that they can do. They know that Joe Biden is going to be sworn in office. And the fact that we've got to this point, and nobody from, obviously, Donald Trump, because he's the instigator, but no one from Vice President Mike Pence, from Mitch McConnell, from Kevin McCarthy, none of these quote unquote leaders did anything to try to stop this in advance. They knew what would take place. They knew what would happen. And the thing that I'm pissed off most about is the fact that, people are seeing right here, right now, that there's still blatant outside racism. If you just imagine these protesters being Black, are we having this conversation right now? We're not talking about one person somehow got shot or whatever. We're talking about a massacre that would be taking place right now. Because if you think right now that the police will be backed up or trying to figure out how to mobilize, they would already be mobilized. They'd be in tactical gear. Just like here in Kansas City, as I told you all last night, on the plaza, the mayor had damn near 200 cops protecting these $1 million businesses over here in Kansas City, and somebody throws a bottle at the police, and next we're getting pepper sprayed and gas. Compared to what they're doing, and these cops are drawing, they drew guns on us. But these people here in Washington, D.C., I mean, they're pushing them back, from the steps and from the Capitol. But some of the images that you showed, someone sitting in the Senate, raising a fist, and then somebody, I guess, commandeering a congressperson or a senator's office with their feet up on the desk. That couldn't have been a Black person. We wouldn't have made it that far. We wouldn't have made it into the Capitol. And the fact that we are seeing what we're seeing right now, it is the height of white privilege.
Come on,
the
man.
height of it.
Darren, let me slide, because I know, Rebecca, you got to get out of here. I want you to get a last word before you go, and then we're going to circle back with more coverage.
Okay. So I wanted to go back, rewind a little bit about what I was calling them. I know I called them some rioters, and I hate to say that because that's what they called Black Lives Matter. And I don't even care if we were rioting or whatever, because it was all warranted when we did what we did. This, what we're witnessing, before I finish, hello, Mr. Darren Smith. I've never gotten to formally meet you, but I've been watching you on the show. And unfortunately, you can't see me physically, but I wanted to know that your input. Oh, you see me. Okay. So I wanted you to know that your input on the show has been gems. Okay. I love it. I love it, especially with that sports voice that you have. That's real golden. Okay.
Hey, yeah, go ahead, Rebecca. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was about to say something, but I'll tell you off air, Darren. It's actually the audience obviously loves you. So go ahead and finish. Rebecca, finish your thoughts, because you got to go. You can get me off track.
So yes, and I don't want to call them rioters, because I feel like when I'm calling them rioters, I'm giving them that same protection, that coddling, right? So what they are terrorists. Okay, this is what we have. What we are witnessing is full-blown terrorism, and these same people relate terrorism to anybody who just looks Middle Eastern. That's a terrorist to them. But what we're looking at right now are terrorists. They literally sacrificed one of their own. Well, somebody died that was in their clique that they sacrificed and don't care about, and continued on with the terrorism. That's what we're witnessing here. So I love you guys. I mean it. I got to get back because I work in corporate. So I wanted to just tell you guys, just wanted to put that there. I love you guys. I mean it. Continue the coverage. I also wanted to shout out to Mondell and Marcus for the work, then you too, for the work that you guys have been doing to lead us to what we have as Georgia flipped blue. And I wanted to let you guys know that you are seen, you are heard, and I love you guys. All right, I'm out.
Love you more, Rebecca. Thank you for joining us. Man, this is an interesting time. I want to read a couple super chats. I want to get involved with the audience. Darren, I didn't want to throw off the conversation. There was $100 super chat that came in and said, thank you. They were just saluting you. And
you can cash app that to me. I'll take it.
Send me your cash app. Send me your cash app, brother. We could do that. Spectre 1711 said, invoke the 25th Amendment. Cancel Trump now. I finally figured out how to read these super chats right off of YouTube. Ibnar Stratibus sent $100 super chat saying, bring it, Darren Smith, bring it. So send me your cash app, brother. I get that to you. And Cheryl K said, old white suburban and non-religious progressive is praying that the truth of what you preach every day will finally be acknowledged. Hashtag Rep 1. Marcus, that's your hashtag, brother. I know, one of y'all had to step away. So I don't, when Marcus comes back, we'll give him a chance to talk about Rep 1 and how it connects to this. One last comment I want to read was somebody else in the YouTube chat room. Be sure to click the like, share, and subscribe button. The more you guys support us, the more that we can continue to bring you robust coverage. That's it. We're just bringing you robust coverage from every perspective, whether it be a Black perspective, whether it be an economic perspective, a political perspective, international politics. We're covering it from every single angle. I want to read one more super chat where it wasn't a super chat. Someone just asked and said, Ben, please keep in mind that that not all white folks, and I'm not reading this to jump on them. I'm actually saying it because we know it's not all white folks, because we saw a lot of y'all this summer getting beat up by the cops. Y'all thought y'all could go out there and fight on our behalf and not get your head bust. So we know it's not all white folks, but now I need everybody to see that not only is this system, right, so committed to white supremacy that it will beat white people who try to oppose it. It is so committed to white supremacy that it will fight back against American democracy itself. They're getting ready to destroy this country, all because of white supremacy. Darren, go ahead and get in there. I want to make sure I give the fellas time to get back.
Sure. Well, one of the things that this video is showing me that it's just so much hatred out there, and here they are. Again, you're seeing, looking at the Washington Post video, breaking out windows at the U.S. Capitol. Seriously. We couldn't even make a movie about doing something like that, let alone.
This couldn't even be Black fiction. I literally cannot write this as Black fiction because folks would not believe it.
But I look, I know it would be rhetorical, but I guess I would ask, what do they think that they're going to get? What do they think is going to come of this at the end of the day? I mean, and see, the thing that I hate about it is that most of them, most of them probably aren't wearing masks because they don't believe in COVID or whatever. Right. But what do you think is going to come of this? Biden is not resigning. Trump is not. He's not taking. He's not going to be in office past 12 o'clock on January.
You're talking about Trump. Trump won't.
Yeah,
be in office.
Yeah. Trump won't be in office past 12 o'clock on the 20th. So I don't get it. I mean, this is something that you really think that showing your kids, oh, I stood up for what I believed in. Seriously. Now, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest though. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna be real pissed if they actually did, destroy.
Hey, pause
stuff
that.
in there.
I don't mean to cut you off, but pause this real quick. Can you rewind it back just a little? There's a black man in there, bruh. Y'all see that black man with a Trump hat on?
I didn't see that,
bruh. You go get yourself killed out there. You think they won't point you out?
Man, the whole time I was sitting there thinking like we wasn't stupid enough to be in there, but I guess that hey, there is always one.
There's always one. Marcus, you back on the scene, man. I just I want to make sure that you got a chance. One of the super chats was talking about how much they're standing with us. #Rep1. And I know that's the hashtag that you came up with. Talk about that, man, in context of what's everything that you see happening.
Yeah, I gotta give respect where respect's due. Mondale came up with a hashtag. I just came up with the idea. Okay. Rep 1 is very simple. We were talking about force to vote, and this is an interesting conversation about forcing anything now that white supremacists have breached the Capitol today. So I'm very careful about forcing anything. But Rep 1 is a simple concept. And it's bigger than Medicare for all. It is, let's put reparations first.
Yeah.
And let's put reparations first. We don't even need a study of it. Like, the study has already been done, and include everything that Black folks have been asking for when it comes down to reparations. Let's put that bill forward as progressives on a unified front. And let's add Medicare for all as an earmark.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because you create completely different allyships. You put two things happen when you put reparations first and you add Medicare for all on it. The first thing that happens is you're going to put pressure on elected officials who have organically been against, especially Black elected officials who've organically been against Medicare for all for whatever reasons, right? Because they're going to have a very hard time publicly voting against reparations, especially with a democratically controlled House and Senate, right? And then on the other half of it, you have the people who are supporting reparations. You're going to have a team up of progressive policy that can put everybody in one place at one time and develop relationships that progressives have been missing. And the biggest relationship that progressives have been missing is the relationship between progressive members and most of the Black caucus, most of the Black supporters down south. Because let me tell you something, if Black America hears that a reparations bill is on the table, shoot, let me tell you something, if Black America hears that reparations is on the table, and any representative that they have, white, Black, whatever it is, they're going to catch holy hell if they do decide not to vote for that bill, right? And more importantly, it gives all of us a chance to primary people. Everybody, instead of just primarying, we got to primary the squad, or we got to primary neoliberals. No, we can primary a whole hell of a lot more people as soon as we find out who the person was that voted against reparations for African Americans. And added on to that, we can start talking about defunding the police, right? Like, don't ask Black and brown legislators to go and force a vote on anything without anything happening for their communities. And we also need to talk about the systemic racism that's not only within American government, but within healthcare. Let's address that, right? Medicare for all, as it is right now, gives more people access to bad healthcare. I hate to be like that, but there's no equity provisions in Medicare for all. If you go to Black neighborhoods, some neighborhoods have 30 or 40-minute waits or 40-minute drives so you get to a first service provider that can actually take care of you. When we talk about reparations and we talk about reforming the police and defunding the police, we also talk about being able to have the opportunity to live to see Medicare for all, to make it to the hospital or not get shot whatsoever.
Wow.
So Rep 1 is an idea that came up in my head because we don't build coalitions as progressives. Let me tell you something right now. Bernie 2020 would have had a whole hell of a lot of different outcome if he had came out for reparations in 2016.
Oh yeah. We would be dealing with the second term of Bernie Sanders right now if that man had come out. But there is literally no one in the black community from the black delegation, except for maybe Candace Owens, who can actively oppose reparations. But y'all not trying to build coalitions. You're trying to tell us to get in line. And we just ain't doing that in the year of our Lord 2021.
Yo, point of clarity. Couple points of clarity. Reparations first was definitely Marcus' idea. However, the hashtag was Monday.
I said that already, late boy.
Sorry, I was missing the action.
Yeah, he gave you your props, but he big up you when you weren't even here.
No. Hold on a second. Hold on. I had to hop out of the car for a second. Also, there are tons of black people that are going to be against reparation. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a ton of black people ain't gonna get reparations because they don't qualify for it. And I think people are afraid. I think that's a second part of the conversation.
Well,
that give white people cover. They give white people cover because they are family, or they are in intimate spaces with certain black people that don't think reparation is necessary at all because they're not benefactors or potential benefactors from American reparation.
Okay. We could dig in that to a whole lot more because I think that is a nuanced conversation that we are qualified to have here. I wanted to get the commentary on in juxtaposed to what's happening in this Capitol, man.
Are these people at a concert?
Bruh,
did they just storm the Capitol and go to a concert?
They're having the time of their life.
That was the Stop the Steal rally / protest that evolved into violence last night.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for clarifying it because I was about to say,
I'm actually working on getting. There was a clip of Stone last night claiming that Trump freed him as a slave. So I'm gonna get that.
Man.
Yeah, I don't need to hear that at all.
Roger Stone.
I don't need to hear that at all because fuck Roger Stone.
Okay, never mind.
Which is David, we're gonna give you a list of parameters that do not trigger black men. Because every single one of us, we were all about to jump through the screen. Not at you, but at Roger Stone. Like, bro,
he should be in jail anyway.
He should be in jail.
So imagine, hold on, pause. Check this out. He
should be out of BC right
Check this out. Not only did he say that Trump freed him and was the best president since Lincoln, he's supposed to be in jail. That's that Jerry Carroll that's that Jerry Carroll that don't
don't just turn over.
Shout out to Cedric the Entertainer.
It just ain't quite there yet.
Right. See, this is how you protect yourself. If you don't know all the references, you get enough black people on the screen, right? And you let them joke about it, and you take the context clues, and then you remind, y'all talking about said it. Okay, see, you got to do calculus when you're in black company. Hey, man, I ain't seen the Kings of Comedy since it actually came out. When the last time y'all saw that?
Last year.
Last year?
I need to re-up. I gotta re-up. I might have it.
I watch it regularly anyway, man. COVID or not.
Yeah, I might have that thing memorized, bro. I literally might have Kings of Comedy memorized.
Hey, we're going live on Instagram because this is pretty heavy breaking news. We want to make sure that we include.
For the record, we're at between YouTube and Twitch. I don't have Periscope numbers, but we're at about 2,000, not including.
I got the numbers. I'm sorry, I got the numbers right here. We're over 3,000 people who are watching us live right now. Click that like, share, and subscribe button because the news is serious and you need a perspective that you're not going to get in a whole lot of places. So, all right. That said, there's all kind of aspects of this that need to be covered. I want to yield the floor to any of y'all who have a perspective on it. And let's go.
Can I tell you what perspective that we have? It's racist. This is racism.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get it. If you don't get it from this point, I heard what Darren said earlier, because even though I walked away, I was listening, but it's racism. You just got to understand something. If you were mad at a system that allows angry white men and a couple of white women to storm the Capitol and nothing happens to them, they can just disperse. Blame racism, right? Blame the cops that was like, okay, we need to go ahead and pull the black people from the front lines because, they might actually fight these people back and open up the gates. Listen, there needs to be a whole bunch of people fired, thrown in jail, but it won't happen because of racism, right? Literally because of racism. So yes, that's our perspective right now, right? America's first ill. The reason why these people are so angry is because they are afraid that their white power is leaving.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything.
But guess what? Here's the thing. Y'all should be afraid. Can I just tell you why? Because your power is leaving. David, could you pull up? You can look in my drive. One of my very first videos I did was talking about Bill O'Reilly. You know which one I'm talking about. When he talked about the white male Christian power structure. Now, I've been called. Yeah, take your time. Take your time. I don't. Whenever you get it, just let me know. But this is the white male Christian power structure actually losing power. Because the thing is, of course, when they can't dominate society based on the whim of their insecurities, of course they're going to feel like they're being oppressed. So all of a sudden now we got a situation where men who have never, ever had to think twice about their power actually have to think twice, because the rest of us ain't going to sit back and just let them do what they want to do. We got power too, champ.
Man, you remember? I don't know if y'all remember a brother by the name of Congressman John Lewis, right? But I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? And America is a country where we walk across a bridge and they bring out horses and they bring out tear gas and they bring out batons. And if Bull Connor was, if that was black people and Bull Connor was alive, that would have been dispersed real quick.
You're done.
But since that's not the case, right? We live in a country where white people can go on federal property. Like that's Calvin Bundy times 2000.
Right.
That's what we saw. We thought it was crazy that these guys got into a shootout with the feds. No. That was just a tiny little shootout. Yeah. They doing some white people dead press shit. They are literally running up in City Hall,
bruh,
and destroying windows and climbing through it.
Like and believe that they gonna go home.
Yeah, right.
They believe they going home to their ladies tonight, bro. They really believe
they are going home.
Bro, I think they can go home tonight.
They're gonna go home.
Let me tell you something though. Let me tell you something. America, let me help you very clearly. If y'all don't arrest these niggas, we gonna be out there doing the same damn thing. Because if anybody got the right to protest, it's black Americans. So it's boy. If anybody got the right to protest, it's black folks.
Let me tell you why. Because they're gonna beat us up and then say, "Well, we learned from our last experience."
No. All
That's it right there.
No. All they're gonna say is we fear for our lives. That's all. Yep. I mean, because that's the code. That's what they can use against us.
I want you to watch this clip.
Wrong.
Okay, tell us why we wrong. Hold on.
Cause ain't no group of niggas running up in Capitol because we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
gonna be on top of the building.
Oh yeah.
Bruh, how many? Listen, I don't even think black folks would make it to Washington. They would have COINTELPRO neutralize us before we even got out of Roxbury, bro. I'm telling you, they were. Let me play this clip. This is from 2008. Now I want you to get the context. This is when Bill O'Reilly was talking to John McCain. John McCain was getting ready to be the Republican presidential nominee, and this is the conversation that they had, and nobody even blinked. It didn't hit anybody's radar, but I heard it when he said it. Press play for me, David.
People can come and work. Do you understand, and I'm not saying this in a condescending way, you're smarter than I am, but do you understand what the New York Times wants and the far left want? They want to break down the white Christian male power structure, which you're a part, and so am I, and they want to bring in millions of foreign nationals to basically break down the structure that we have. In that regard, Pat Buchanan is right.
All right, pause it there. That is Bill O'Reilly on Fox News with the soon-to-be presidential candidate for 2008 for election, talking about very clearly what controls America. It is the white Christian male power structure. If you want to understand why they aren't killing these people out there, is because it's the white Christian male power structure versus the white Christian male imperialist power structure. But I do believe, gentlemen, that the military industrial complex would wipe these people out if they actually became a threat to their empire. Because, I don't think they actually care about white supremacy so much as to give up American empire and capitalism. That's
Mondale pointed out something earlier. Mondale said the snipers were going to be sitting on top of the building. Man, them snipers were up there today.
Is lit up not just to aid.
Chilling, smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, those snipers was up there today talking about some. Look at my cousin. They so funny.
They play too much.
Hey, what do white people smoke, bro? I don't want to be like I was gonna say I was gonna say Newports, but I mean I guess maybe they smoke Newports, but you know they
American Spirits and Marlboro.
American Spirit. They have this smoking Marlboro.
They're smoking Marlboro and Marlboro. They're snipers, so they probably smoking Marlboro Reds.
I ain't gonna shoot my people. They up there chilling, bro. And if we had got even near, how far could we have gotten? They would have stopped us somewhere
they would have stopped us.
Reagan International.
They would have stopped us as soon as they smelled the black and mild.
No, Reagan International. Well, hey, Ben, you got to remember when they had the Million Man March, and then of course, every time black people hold something there, Congress clears out. I mean, it's empty. The U.S. Capitol is empty. So, when we go up there and we have our rallies and stuff, they're always empty. But of course, they were there. Trump decided, and it's interesting because black people, and I can't remember what city or state it was, but there was a teen that organized a protest. They got arrested because they said that they were inciting violence. Here, the president of the United States brings 30,000 or however many people came to DC. He's inciting this stuff. Nothing's gonna happen. And then, right. but then I think back to last night on Twitter, James Comey talking about, well, we should let bygones be bygones and don't prosecute Trump. See, that's again kind of go back to white imperialism and white privilege and stuff like that. That's the stuff like that frustrates me. That if I talk about here in Kansas City, it's a gotcha question or I'm being racial when it's just pointing out the facts.
You know what? That's something else is I got to point out, bro. I just feel like every time you lift up that right hand over there, you flipping me off with that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I would take it off.
Trying to blind
no, don't take it off. Don't take it off. Black folks, we like to stunt for no reason at all. It's a Wednesday afternoon. We talking about the end of American imperialism, and I want you to flex on them.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
we gonna flex on y'all in the middle of a coup. We don't care. What's up, David? What you got, David?
Just an update. PBS is speaking with the DC district attorney, but they interrupted to say that I believe it's the Sergeant of Arms in Congress gave an all clear signal. So I guess they're in the progress of cleaning something up.
Yeah, so they get to now they get to jump right back on the metro.
All clear except for those windows that got busted out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Now they get to jump right on the metro
and go home.
They get to go. They get to jump.
But let me tell you what they did. Y'all remember that brother who stood on top of the CNN? I actually got his photo, but I blurred him out on my Facebook page. And they arrested that brother. They came, they used all their technology. They did all their facial recognition. They checked arrest warrants. They tracked that man down. And what I'm saying is, bro, if y'all don't arrest and one of these people, if somebody don't go to jail, you are sick. Now, don't mean we're going to win. We probably going to lose because y'all kill us a lot quicker than you kill these white folks. But if y'all don't arrest them, y'all are signaling to every black revolutionary, every white revolutionary, every person who knows, y'all are showing us the model to destroy this democracy. So y'all better get y'all house in order.
Well, you know what's going to happen.
If they don't arrest them, they better be prepared. They need to prepare themselves for Antifa and what they're going to do.
Well, that too. But what I was going to say, Ben, is that, if they face federal charges, all Trump is going to do is just pardon them.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? FBI and Capitol Police, stand back and stand by until right. January 20th, exactly. And then arrest every single one of these. Arrest.
Because the evidence is there. Like, they are all live streaming, and I know the feds watch us. So won't you watch them? Like, we over here just talking about these crazy folks. Like, we're not the dangerous ones. They're the ones who literally went in your boss's office and sat on the table and started waving guns around.
Hey, man, I got a whole new game that we're going to play. We're not going to play on this show. We're going to play off air. What if the Fed, what would the Feds say about you? What kind of letter would the Feds write Ben Dixon?
I'm not going to play that game at all.
That's why I said we ain't going to do that on air. We do that off.
Ben, don't invite me over your house tonight. You playing that game.
I've already
give
got
me a couple weeks before you call me after you play it.
Listen, why y'all think I be so honest? I tell y'all everything because I ain't gonna give not one of these institutions leverage over me. Ben Dixon got problems. I got issues. I need mental health counseling. I got marital problems. I got financial. Well, no, we ain't got financial problems anymore. Darren, send me that cash app. But we got issues around here. And so just in case my FBI agent thinks that he can hold something over me, I done told my wife everything. So we good now. All right. What else we got going on in the world?
Again,
what else we got going on in the world?
Seriously, again, like I talked about the James Comey conversation, which again I don't know if you all touched on it or whatever.
Nah,
but the fact that he said that America should not prosecute or the next administration shouldn't prosecute Donald Trump because it would set a bad precedent. Well, I think you should. So then that way you don't have a president coming after Biden or Kamala Harris that think that they can pull the same shenanigans that this guy did. And then look, man, you cannot be professing how everyone is equal under the law. And then you allow and we continue to allow politicians to get away with stuff that the average Joe would not be able to.
Period. End of conversation on that part.
Hey,
man,
I'm as I think about it, who the hell told 2020 to come back in the room?
Who let 2020 back in?
like 2020 just said, you know what? I ain't done with y'all. Dr. Dre, come here.
Right.
Dr. Dre, come here real quick.
Oh man.
And also let's go ahead and just get these and get. I mean, look at the picture at the David. Scroll back up. That's our capital,
bruh. It's wild. With Trump's flag on it.
Marcus.
And Blue Lives Matter.
Marcus.
What's up, man?
Yeah, what up, man?
Hey, y'all remember that some of us are driving and can't see what you're talking about. So when you say look at that picture, can you describe what?
Oh yeah. You got multiple streams of technology, man. Somebody needs to
He said, "Get off your rotary phone, man."
I just want to drive.
I'm driving. Whoa, slow.
Wait, hang on. We got a couple people say time. Mundell said he's jogging. All right, man. But we'll describe it before you describe it.
Not jogging, driving.
Driving,
not jogging.
Yeah, I mean, you're in some mode of transportation that does not afford you the opportunity.
Wow,
to look at the
they
video.
broke the Nancy Pelosi sign.
No. Oh wow.
I've seen that sign.
Yo, white people, y'all.
That's what I was trying to bring up. Yeah.
Y'all people is crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. We probably do a whole lot more. But we know we ain't gonna live to see. See, y'all got to tame this white supremacy. Y'all got to put white supremacy in check, because it's gonna keep going. This ain't gonna be over.
Yeah. No, I like what you said, Robert. Robert, we are in a loop. The aliens have a reality show on pause. Shout out to Robert for that one. That was a good one, because we are in the loop, man. It's getting crazier and crazier. I mean, you got people doing fitness training on and
man,
fitness training on the wall. See, you know what? When I always saw them white folks rock climbing, I thought, man, what are y'all climbing? Now I see y'all been preparing.
Hey man, I think we need to assign all these wild ass white people to some of the craziest tasks in the universe. Like we need to send them. Go ahead, man.
Marcus, don't think I'm gonna let you slide with that comment you just made about me having more.
I do that.
Let him on this damn road. Let him on the road. If I went on the road and if I wasn't worried for my signal falling out, and you getting the best of me on my jokes, I'll come for your ass right now.
Hey, you must be going through.
We can't hear you.
You break it up, bro.
You breaking up.
You going through? Must be going through.
Hey,
Marcus's
smile
Wi-Fi.
so we can see you.
Oh my God. Oh.
You know, that's funny. You tall, droopy looking motherfucker, looking like a stolen puppy, looking like a hound.
Oh. Hey, bro. Hey, America, black folks, this is exactly what you need to do. Don't y'all put no energy into this. Let these people fight. Y'all just go back and watch Harlem Nights and enjoy yourself this evening, because this is.
Look at these guys yelling on the floor of one of the chambers.
Yeah, I was.
Bruh, do you know we would be dead in the chambers? They would be cleaning up our black blood off those blue carpets.
And the bad part about it is Corey Bush, Ilhan Omar, AOC worked so hard to get to to get there. and
all they had to do was bum rush it.
All they had to do was bum rush it. You know, I mean, Mondale, what we're looking at right now is the guy sitting in the Trump and the with a Trump flag sitting in the speaker's seat, right? And they done tore up Nancy Pelosi's sign that's above her wall, above her office. Right when you walk into her office, that says Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. They broke that thing, broke it in half, and they are showing it. And also, they are in somebody's office with their feet.
Nancy Pelosi. No, right there. That's Nancy Pelosi's office. Yeah, that I was gonna say, man, right there pisses me off to no extent, because that right there shows the height of white supremacy and privilege at its most arrogance, man. I'm telling, man, right now.
Talk on it, Darren. Talk on it.
No, because because look, man, I get pissed because if we talk about it, we bring it up, if we speak on it, then we're like sheep following the cattle, is what they want to call us. But again, white people can say this about us when we don't even get to this part, of the Capitol or even inside the Capitol to where we can protest stuff. Like, man, the stuff just looking at these pictures, and then what the army's supposed to be activated. Well, look, I am against violence. I want to stress that right now because I don't want something being clipped. But you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Why are there not bloodshed? Why are there not bodies being picked up off the ground in the Capitol on those steps right now? Because again,
they white.
There it is.
And you have to wonder if folks like Ted Cruz or other lawmakers, this is very general, it just says this is insane, lawmakers speak out. It doesn't specify who, and I'm not reading the article word for word, but you got to wonder if, has this gotten too serious for them just yet to invoke, to be with their rhetoric? I mean, the other day we published a piece yesterday with Congressman Chip Roy, who was on Tucker Carlson saying, that if Georgia went to the Democrats last night, we would be in a full-scale civil war, whereas right now, as of yesterday, he claimed we were in a cold-scale civil war.
Hold on. Leave that picture there, David, because if I'm correct, that woman in that picture right there, she looks like the woman from Arizona who always causes trouble for Arizona organizers. I forgot that woman's name. All my Arizona people, please, if you remember this woman right here, we can identify her, because if that's who I think it is, that's the same woman.
Don't call her
remember
name.
the meme with the guy in the green shirt who was just laughing?
Green shirt laughing.
Y'all remember the meme?
The guy who couldn't. He was hysterically laughing at how ridiculous.
That's the woman that's the woman that he was laughing at.
All right, so somebody in the Squirrel Gang, y'all check that out for us and cross-reference and see if we can lock that one in. But we're gonna be sure before we put it over the air. But y'all could do that research for us while we live.
The green shirt man, that was hilarious. He couldn't stop laughing.
Bro, look at how they have the
guns drawn.
The guns drawn. Rebecca just sent this in. She's still off the scene working, and she sent me a tweet. And David, I'll see if she sent it to you, saying that these are American patriots. Any security, she's addressing them, saying American patriots. Any security breach or disrespect to our law enforcement is unacceptable. The violence must stop immediately. Please be peaceful. American patriots? I'm sorry, what? Wait a minute. Wait. Who just said the Muriel Bowser? It's one thing I want to say. Mayor Bowser, she's out here having to step up to save this country
again,
because Donald Trump ain't gonna call in the National Guard, or they don't want the National Guard to come in. But what I'm saying is, though, the people who get labeled patriots are people who are carrying Confederate flags in the Capitol. That's the apex,
because they are
treason.
Patriots. No, they are patriots of whiteness. If you're thinking about it from their context, this is a white country. You just played the clip of Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly was not the highest paid person on Fox News for so long for no reason. They believe that this is a white male patriarchic Christian society. That's how they believe. Anything against that is anti-patriot. That's what their patriotism lie. That's what they are patriotic about. Period. So in that sense, these guys are being super patriotic. The problem with them is that's not the United States of America. That's the United States of white America.
Yeah.
And for the first time in the world, in the first time in history, they've been dealt a defeat,
bro,
on a national scale.
Play this clip, David.
It's like the first. So
Go ahead, Mundell. Finish that thought, and then David has a clip.
I'm happy they're doing this.
Yeah.
I'm happy this is happening.
Yeah.
But for the cameras rolling, hold on, David. But for the cameras rolling on Bloody Sunday,
right?
We wouldn't have got the civil rights legislation of the 60s. So, but for this whiteness on display in 2021, 2020-ish, whatever Marcus still called it, right? But for this display of whiteness right now, we might not be able to get some of the stuff we're gonna use this shit for.
Hey, real quick, man, real quick. It's 2020X. We might as well just name it that. It's just 2020X. It's for the rest of this year, for the rest forever, it's going to be 2020X.
No, no. This is 2020 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, right. So I want to give a super chat shout out to Daniel. Daniel says, "Oh, and watch out for increased funding to police forces after this." Yeah, it's the famous moniker that people who went to there's a famous moniker for people who went to HBCUs who always say, because Ohio State cheated, FAMU needs to get punished.
Can I give y'all something real quick? Finish that thought.
Point real quick. Yeah. So what's going to magically happen is they're going to give more money to the police officers, and these dudes are going to show up in the black neighborhood with all their new toys.
Cool. If I jump in real quick.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was saying Mary Bowser is not a champion, because she painted Black Lives Matter on the street, but she was still fucking funding the police officers like crazy. So she problematic too.
Of course you're problematic, but like you said, man, these people are facilitating their jobs in a system. Like it's almost like your boy. How many black folks actually get in this system and can actually change it? Right? You can serve it, but you can't really change it because they kill you if you try to change it. Now this ain't making an excuse for her, because I think the dynamics might be different. It's time for y'all to actively challenge
some shit.
You gotta actively challenge it. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Not my kids are worth dying for. I ain't dying for this country. Go ahead. While I fix this microphone, it's about to fall off.
Well, I was zeroing in on this Mitt Romney picture and quote just to tie it into this video that I believe is from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to switch my shared screen here and go to the video. And audio's up.
How you doing?
Put your mask down.
Don't tell me what to do.
Please put your mask on. It's required by law.
I'm standing 6 feet away.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll tell you what, because you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it because I want to have a chat with you. Why aren't you supporting President Trump?
I do support the things President Trump does. I agree with.
You're not supporting him.
I'm sorry, I do agree with many of the things he is for, and I support those things.
Are you going to support him in the fraudulent vote system?
The election? No,
why not?
It's just by the election. It's going to be a real long.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
It's a long story, but we have a constitution. The constitutional process is clear. I'll follow the constitution, and I'll explain all that when we meet in Congress.
Well, you haven't supported him, and you didn't even support him in the election.
No, I did not.
Why?
This is a piece of shit.
We're voted in as a conservative to represent the conservative constituents. Period.
Actually, that's not how the Constitution works.
It is. You're voted in to represent us. You work for us. Am I wrong?
I work for the people of Utah.
Exactly. And I am from Utah.
Well, but you're not the only one.
I voted. I know. There's a lot of people that didn't vote for you. We'll make sure of that one.
Of course I'll be fired. That's totally fine. You admit it. You know it's coming.
They didn't want you in there anyway. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't even voted in legally.
Trump is a juggernaut. Your legacy is nothing.
Telling you, man. I'm telling you, these.
The problem is she really ain't from Utah. She's full of shit. I'm gonna tell you why.
Accent.
Mitt Romney is the most popular politician
in the damn country, in their home state.
Yeah.
You need to know the dynamics of Utah and who is out there. That is a heavily, they're no longer called Mormon. What are they? The Church of Latter-day Saints.
Latter-day Saints, yeah.
And what he's done for that church and what he do for his church, she's wasting her time talking stupid. Mitt Romney will never be defeated because of Trump. Actually, Trump almost lost Utah fucking with Mitt Romney.
Right?
So that actually went further. When he actually boarded his flight, here's what came next, just to give you guys the complete picture.
There's more.
What we think! Traitor! 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 Traitor!
This is the wildest timeline possible.
First.
Yeah, let's kill that. Let's kill that.
Let's kill this. Listen, real quick.
Please kill that.
First, why y'all breathing so loud on this plane?
With no damn mask on.
Yeah, why y'all breathing like we on this COVID can and y'all yelling and shit? Like, okay, y'all laughed at me when I put my gas mask on the plane. Now you see. Listen.
No, you still was weird as fuck with that gas mask.
Well, yeah, I could take that. But on the same token, like, I mean, whiteness allows you to not get kicked off a plane, right? Whiteness allows you to, like, we can't do nothing that these white folks did headed to DC and while they were in DC. We can't do nothing they can do.
And man, I'm gonna tell you something right now, Marcus. Mitt Romney, he's obviously a nice ass dude. Cause see, I live by that. No, seriously, because I live by that whole Chris Rock thing. Nobody is above an ass whipping. Nobody. Male, female, white, black.
Now, don't y'all forget it. Don't y'all try to clip this because Darren is against violence.
He is. We're gonna help you. We ain't gonna leave you out there hanging. Like he's saying rhetorical violence.
Nah, cause dude, like you say, you don't push an old man down the flash, but he understands. That's
man,
what it is.
Hey, the fans just knocked over that man's camera. They know.
That's the spirit of the Lord.
That's the spirit of the Lord intervening on your behalf, brother.
I want to add on something, man. How come they can? How can they get away with that? You know what this sounds. You know what some of this seems like, and I'm not trying to trash them, but they kind of remind me of y'all. Some of y'all forced to vote people.
You just gonna make us get in the fight today, ain't you?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yo, wait, Marcus. Say it again, Marcus.
Y'all trying to clip me, huh? Okay, I got you.
He did just come out of nowhere with that.
No, it just kind of reminds me of. Like how people were treating the forced to vote issue.
The energy's similar.
It was similar. Like it was a bunch of angry white people and a couple of angry white people saying forced to vote. Like and calling people. Think about it. They call them traitors. They call them sellouts. They call.
I mean, no, they called us that.
Yeah.
Us.
Shit. Yeah. That's what Marcus is saying. They would call him Mitt Romney a traitor because he ain't support Trump, or basically he ain't support stealing an election. So
and at least they got Donald Trump. Y'all got Jimmy Dore. Oh, my bad, folks. I'm sorry. Let's move on before I get in trouble, because y'all know I don't do well with that subject. Who's next?
I mean,
shout out to the three. We still have about, let's see, we got 15 plus 6. That's 21. We got about 2,500 people still watching us across all the different platforms. Hello to Instagram. We are streaming to you. We don't often stream there, but this is some pretty heavy breaking news that's happening in the Capitol. Shout out to everyone on Facebook, all the different Facebook channels we're streaming on. Shout out to everyone on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Click, there's another one, Twitter. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button as we give you this coverage. Fellas, it's getting late in the evening, and we're going to have to it's a lot happening. If things pop off, we may come back and speak again. But before we end this one, I just want to give the floor to whoever got something, because it's been a crazy day.
Well, for me personally, I'm going to be interviewing Rob Parker a little bit later on from FS1. We're going to talk about 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock you all's time. He's been in the business for 35 years. And so today is his 35th anniversary of being in the business. So we're going to talk a little bit later on. It'll be published live. We're going to live stream it via social media. And of course, we'll talk about obviously what's going on and the black athlete using their voices, their collective voices to speak up and speak out on these social justice issues and holding them accountable as well.
Yeah. Yep. Marcus, jump in there. And again, we don't have to end the stream here. I just know that we may just keep the stream open, and David, you can keep scrolling through the different things that are happening, because this is some major breaking news. But I want to at least give us a chance to breathe here. So it's totally in y'all hands. Marcus, what you got?
They go, man. These
What I miss?
Jesus Christ!
Who called my name?
What I miss? What I miss?
Hey,
go ahead, Marcus.
He came in like what was it? The Martin Lawrence movie. Come on, when he was playing when he was it Dr. Doolittle? Anyway, it's all good.
No, that's
Eddie Murphy.
Not talking about Martin Lawrence when he was Big Mama's house.
Big Mama's house.
Yeah, who called my name?
Hey, go ahead, Marcus. You got it.
Man, these guys are making it hard for me to continuously trash the Democrats.
Oh,
and that's the and I don't want to trash them because, like, we got a chance. First, I want my people to be, alive in an environment where they can actually be pressured to change laws themselves on their organic own, right? If that happens, I'm going to be very happy, right? We just won the Senate, man. We just got a Democratic Senate. Now, I'm happy now because, believe it or not, I'm happy that we have a white president instead of a black one, because less passes are going to be given by the black community for a white guy over a black guy, right?
Yeah.
But so what does that mean? What does this mean, right? Like, I just want everyone to just take a look at America as it is right now, the day after a black man became a U.S. senator in the state of Georgia.
Right.
I want y'all to just look at what happened. This is not happenstance.
Yeah.
This is not an accident. This is white supremacy. And you got to understand something. You're going to have a black woman who is going to be the deciding vote.
Yeah. Right.
No matter how you feel about Senator Harris, you're gonna have a black woman who is just in the Senate. So she actually has beef with some of them senators sitting across the aisle from her because she was working with them all year this year and last year since she's been elected. Now imagine this: she's gonna be the deciding vote on things that the Republicans want to do, right?
Yeah.
And there's 13 of those Republicans who decided that they wanted to make an issue out of the Electoral College, which is going to happen tonight still, which is even more news.
Yeah, but they're only on the third state.
Yeah, I remember this morning feeling a little bit of relief, thinking to myself, well, man, politics ain't going to be that bad anymore. We finally over this election.
Hold my beer.
Little did we know.
And then 2020 X rears its head, but it's going to be enjoyable to watch Senator Harris knock down the people who created this environment, which...
Oh, you know what? Okay, David, I don't mean to cut you off, but you're right. Look, they're holding hands. Well, I mean, I guess Biden, that somebody mentioned that Mike Pence changed this this picture. That's Mike Pence, though. That's Mike Pence. That's not. Yeah. Okay. Keep going for me. Marcus, finish your thought. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna be very nice to actually see, it's gonna be very nice to actually see just some official pushback, and the first time that white supremacy has been pushed back on. Yeah. And talking to some of my sources and my colleagues that I know across the country who are a part of administrations and who are up in DC and who are in some of the rooms that decisions are made, they have said that this is the blackest, and I mean not just black on the face, but this is the blackest conversations have ever been surrounding a presidency that they've been around, right? Okay. And you got to understand, for you guys who always say that I'm trying to be a class reductionist, here's the thing. Again, when you fix black issues, you fix America.
A race reductionist, they're trying to call you.
Yeah, race reductionist, right? A race reductionist, sorry. But when you fix black issues, you fix America. And if conversations around accountability, conversations around, okay, well, black folks saved us in Georgia, what are we going to do? don't think for a second that Nikema Williams didn't say, all right, my district showed up for y'all. And this is what they want. Now, are you going to do it?
That's the question.
You ain't got no wiggle room. You don't have you don't have the votes to have a lot of wiggle room, especially in the House, and definitely not in the Senate.
It's on the edge. Mundell, man, jump in there, get your last words. I'm on fumes. I got about 2 more things I got to get to tonight. Now, I'm more than happy to leave the stream open, but at the same time, I want to give everybody opportunity to breathe as well. I know I'm not the only one who's burned out here. So, Mundell, get the last word in there.
I don't think today is a direct result of Georgia's election last night. I think it's tied to, and I gotta keep saying this, white people's commitment to whiteness.
Yeah.
And their idea of superiority being smacked in the face. Even when they turn out their record numbers now, white superiority still can lose. And that gives them nightmares. That shakes them at their core. The shit that their no teeth, tobacco chewing granddaddy told them is all fucked up now. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to be alive to see this shit happen.
I feel that.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm sorry, Ben, before you get out of here. Yeah, I know you all have talked about the $2,000 stuff, and look, I'm looking forward to it too when they get in. But I was talking to somebody before my sports show, and look, they need to go back to Kamala Harris's plan when she was running for the presidency. They need to retroactive this stuff back to March. Give us $2,000 since March each month until now, and keep it going. Look, you got the House, you got the Senate. You really don't have no excuse.
They got no excuse.
So
they've got no excuse. Well, listen, folks.
Thank you, Chuck Diesel. I don't know if it's checked yet, but the Washington Post reports that the woman that was shot has died.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll keep following this, and if necessary, we will. I didn't even hear what he said. What did he say?
Look at his face. That says it.
Okay.
Hey man, listen. I got nothing good to say, so Mama told me don't say nothing at all. That said, we're gonna call the stream here, and if anything develops tonight, we will pick it up at that point. If not, we will be back tomorrow morning with Clickbaity. In the morning, we have Dr. Cornell West. He's going to be in the building, and I got a feeling we got a whole lot more to talk about now than what we already had a whole lot to talk about. And then on Friday, we got Nomi Key Const. She's going to be coming to join us in the morning time, and we got some exciting things ahead. So everybody stay tuned. Y'all be safe out there. Black folks, this ain't your fight. Stay home, and let them fight each other, because this is white supremacy versus American imperialism. I want to see how this plays itself out. All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you next time.